beyond all else, just look for clarity. It's like one of the best stoic. It's like one of the first stoic philosophies you have to understand, and it's in the belief that everything in life that's under your control is the only things that you need to be clear about, right? If it's not under your control, there's no point in paying attention to it or paying it any mind, because it's just nothing you can change. Like even in the book The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday, he talks about this idea of if the weather has delayed the flight, don't no amount of screaming or yelling will ever change when the flight gets, departed, or whatever the case may be. And so it's like, if you can start understanding that everything that's under your control is the only thing that you can really worry about, life gets so different. Like life changes completely drastically, because now everything that is under your control is also under your perception, and your perception will literally bend reality. Like I love saying that quote so much because it's so fucking true. If you genuinely believe you can't do something, you already failed, right? Because if you imagine how would, if you're seeing something and you're visualizing something and you keep visualizing it, you're essentially manifesting it, right? You're manifesting how it looks. If you really sat down completely in silence, sitting still, just breathing, and all you did was visualize something that you wanted, you would slowly over time keep visualizing and visualizing, and more details become clear, right? You would get more clarity, and as you do that, you're manifesting it. And so you manifest in your mind, and then in reality it starts coming into fruition. It's like, it's so fucking crazy, it's so cool, and it works too. And one of the reasons I believe it works too, I mean, beyond just like manifestation and everything of that sort, it sounds a little woo woo, but it's like once you actually do it, you're like, what the fuck, this works. It's our brains are meant to, our brains are wired for success, right? They love seeking solutions, right? Your brain doesn't like problems. It was created for survival. So naturally it always seeks for ways to become easier or for things to survive. And that's why you'll see humans always take the path of least resistance, because our brains love solutions. Our brain loves when things are easy. And so if you keep visualizing something and you keep seeing something, everything that's happening in current reality and in your visualized reality, there's a big difference, right? There's all these problems per se. They're not really problems, they're just differences. And because you keep visualizing it, your brain starts looking for solutions on how we can turn reality into what we're seeing up here. And so in time, you will naturally achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve, as long as it's realistic and it's possible, right? You're not gonna like go on Mars or whatever the fuck, right? But it's like, if you can sit like, if you want to lose weight, if you want to quit your job, if you want to make money online, if you want to start your own business, you want to be in a happy relationship, whatever it is that you want in life, you need to desire it first. You need to visualize it first. If you don't visualize it, if you don't desire it, you will never have it. You will never get it. You need to genuinely believe that you can achieve it. And if you know that you can achieve something, you desire it that much more, right? And so it's like, a lot of people will say, oh, no matter how much I want this or that, like, I just don't seem to get it, right? Like, you'll see guys talking about like, oh, I can't get the girl that I want, I can't get the job that I want, I can't, whatever it may be. I'm telling you, it's simply because you don't desire it enough. And like, I know that sounds crazy, but if you genuinely want something, your body and mind will literally create a pathway for you to achieve it. It's actually fucking crazy. Whatever it is that you want in this life, if it already exists, somebody else already has it. You're not creating something new. You're not creating a new construct. You're simply just designing the path for yourself. And so it's like, when you surround yourself with people who have what you want, you naturally see what they do. You can emulate their behaviors, and then you can eventually copy it and instill it in your own life until you get what you want. And it may take time, it may take years, whatever it may be, right? The bigger the goal, the bigger the timeline. You also have to understand that you have to be patient. You have to find whatever goal that you have. If it's a big goal, you know that it's going to take a long time. So it's just your ability to endure time more than anything. And so you need to be patient. And the best definition I've heard of patience is from Alex Hormozy, where he said, patience is just figuring out what to do in the meantime. And so it's like, if you have this big goal, right, constantly working at it will not achieve anything, right? You need to understand big goals take long periods of time, and that means they need to become sustainable. You need to break them down into daily habits that will eventually will yield the results that you want, right? So it's like, if you want to lose 30 pounds, you won't, no matter how much you work out in a day, you will not lose 30 pounds, right? Give yourself a year, give yourself 2 years, whatever it may be. And if you say, let's say you gave yourself 30 months, right? You want to lose 1 pound a month, which is insane, but it's like, if you break it up into things like that, it makes it so much more easier. But it's like, people are so quick to get everything fast because of how society is nowadays. Everything's digital, everything is super convenient, right? You want food, you order it on Uber Eats. You want entertainment right on your phone. You want to watch a movie, TV show, whatever, maybe it'll be on Netflix or whatever, right? And so it's like, you need to almost force yourself to become accustomed to the idea of thinking long term, right? You need to delay short term gratification at all costs. It will literally ruin your life if you just constantly always look for the next pleasure, the next dopamine hit, whatever it may be, because if you keep doing that, you can never achieve anything big. Everything that's worth it in life, it's hard to achieve. But in reality, nothing is really hard, okay? And this is something like I've been like getting more in my mind wrapped around. The idea of like big risk, big reward, or the idea of that's super hard to achieve. It's like, no, the fuck it is not. Anything you want in this life, you can achieve. If I want to be a doctor, I could easily be a doctor, right? It would take a long time, and I would have to do. There would be like a knowledge gap. There would be a skill gap. There would be more than anything the time gap, right? And so it's like, if I want to become a doctor, it's not that I can't, it's that it would take 8 years, and what's the upside, what's the downside, right? So it's like, yes, how much money I can make, how much help people I could help or whatever, but the downside would be how long it would take, right? And people will equate the idea of risk with failure. People associate the idea of hard with how much time you have to endure or how much stress you have to endure, which is like, that's not actually hard once you understand how to do it, right? If you've ever achieved anything big in your life, you know it takes time. It just, like, time needs to transpire in order for you to achieve certain things. And so if you can get accustomed to the idea of what is it that you truly want, like authentically be yourself, like forget what society keeps telling you, forget what your parents are telling you, forget what your teachers are telling you. What do you want? Is it worth chasing whatever it is that you want? Will it give you the life that you want? More than anything, will you enjoy it, right? Are you willing to endure the risk that come with pursuing that, right? And the risk is not failure, right? If you keep going, if you keep trying, if you keep going after the things that you want, you're on this path. It's impossible to fail. Think about like walking from A to B. If you keep walking, no matter how much failures you had, and no matter how many mistakes, whatever it costs, if you keep walking, you will get eventually to point B. But it's just, you have to stay the path. You have to stay the course. You can't just keep switching course to course to course. That's why you need to really like sit down, think about what it is that you really want, and then keep working towards it. If you keep working towards it, it's impossible to fail. If you never quit, you cannot fail, right? And so it's like, it's so important for people to understand that concept, because I think it'll literally change your life, right? More than anything, you have to let go of what society tells you. You gotta forget about what your parents are telling you, because they want what's best for you, but they want what's safe and secure, okay? They don't want you to go through they don't want you to be stressed. They don't want you to be overwhelmed. They don't want you to endure risk, failure, or whatever. And again, it's not risk that you're enduring. It's just time. It's being patient, right? It's time, the idea of failure, right? Fighting all the limiting beliefs beyond all of that. And it's like just having to endure whatever it costs, right? Having to learn, having to practice a skill, having to go through the habits and routines that you need to in order to acquire whatever it is that you want. And more than anything, if you keep listening to everybody else, they will only set you up for a safe and secure path. Not because they hate you, not because they're against you, but they don't want you to struggle. But nothing great comes from not struggling, right? Like you need struggle, you need pain, you need to start from the bottom to get to the top. It's just the way things are. And so the sooner you can start fighting off everybody's desires for you, and you can figure out what is it that I truly want, ask yourself, sit down, look in the mirror, stare at the wall, whatever it may be, just quiet, cut out all the fucking noise in the world, sit down, be still, breathe, and see where your mind gravitates towards, see what it is that you truly want, and that is what you need to build the path for. Visualize that thing, whatever it is that you want. No matter how big of a goal it is, it does not matter. The bigger the goal, the better, right? As long as you can visualize yourself doing it, as long as you can visualize yourself achieving it, it can happen. And I just want everybody to fucking know that, because it's a fucking game changer. It makes life worth living. You can actually chase your purpose. There's this great feeling of actually working towards what you want rather than working towards what everybody else told you to work towards. Like, you don't feel like, one of the greatest feelings in the world is being your authentic self. It's literally proven by science, right? When you're fully yourself, life is just better, right? It's hard to almost be negative no matter what's going on. And so it's like, as long as you find your purpose and you pursue it, life will be worth living. It's almost impossible to be sad. It's hard to be sad. And again, nothing is hard unless you make it hard, right? If you believe it's possible in your head, then it's not hard anymore. It's already easy. You solved halfway. Now you just gotta endure whatever it costs. Time, skill, knowledge, whatever, and you will get what you want in life. Think like this, act like this, and in the end, we're all gonna fucking win.